I woke up and the devil said, shit, he's awake. That's right, I'm home. 13 days in the hospital, 2 days additionally in intensive care, 2 surgeons, 2 surgeries, 9 hours on the table. Strong chance I was going to die. But I'm back. And it's kind of interesting because everything is brand new to me right now. It's, baby steps. I'm doing things that I took for granted previously. And I got to tell you, it is absolutely incredible. A couple of days ago, my surgeon came into my hospital room. And he said, well, you've been diagnosed. Before we started the surgery, you still had the cancer. We did a biopsy and we removed some lymph nodes, and you still had the cancer. The radiation and the chemotherapy didn't kill all the cancer. But after the surgery, we did another one. And Jim, you are 100% cancer-free at present. It is absolutely phenomenal, the elation that my family is feeling. This was a very intensive, aggressive cancer. They removed 2/3 of my esophagus. They moved my stomach up behind my right lung and reattached it. I woke up with tubes out of my nose, tubes out of my side. It was incredible. IVs everywhere. And, being Jim Ziegler, the alpha dog, I have that aggressive sense of humor. It's amazing. I woke up and I looked up, and there was my beautiful, wonderful wife, Debbie. Tears streaming down her face. And I said, who are you? Do I know you? And she looked at me like, I said, have we met? Yeah, I couldn't keep it up too long, but my sense of humor, the moment I came out of anesthesia, I was the alpha dog. You've never heard me wimp. You've never heard me whine. You've never heard me complain. And throughout this aggressive surgery, and I mean aggressive, hang on one second. I'm going to go ahead and be doubly sure this video is going to all the sources I want it to go to. Friday the 13th, appropriate day. Coronavirus. I am so sick of hearing about that. Absolutely incredible. I'm adjusting all the feeds right now. Okay. Let's be doubly sure. Don't want to mess this up. There it is. Or is it? Come on now. Anyway, it's been a real ordeal. I want you to think back to when you were 2 years old and you got all excited and you went to your mother and you said, whatever you said. No. Well, the other day I rang my nurse, and my nurse came into my room. I was in advanced care. And my nurse, can I help you, Mr. Ziegler? I said, you wouldn't believe it. I made a poo-poo. Think about it. I made a poo-poo. That is absolutely phenomenal. But that was important to me. Oh, hang on one second. I see what the problem is. Let me change that real quick. Oh, this isn't me and Chris Hill. I was wondering what the problem was. I'm having to learn how to operate my computer all over again. So everybody, forgive me. I've actually been home for 2 days. But the difference is I wanted to be doubly, triply sure that, there we go. I want to be doubly, triply sure that my voice was up to it, because even though my voice is not strong right now, I was speaking in a whisper just 2 days ago. The alpha dog, I am not all powerful. It humbles you to have this kind of experience where you can't even roll over in bed. People are waiting on you hand and foot. I was on a clear liquid diet until 2 days ago. Who would believe that one of my fetishes, one of my favorites, is Fanta orange soda. And being able to drink a Fanta orange soda for the first time, and carbonated is still sort of on the taboo list. But anyway, thousands of you, we estimate 25,000 different individual, unique people commented, prayed, wish me the best, message me. 25,000 people. Absolutely amazing that many people cared about what happened to me and wanted to express that to me and talk to God about me. Well, I'm here to tell you the dog is back, and I'm getting better every single day. And one of the reasons is I've got excellent caregivers. When I talk about the people taking care of me, there's Debbie and Zach this morning. It's kind of interesting because these two are changing my bandages, changing my feeding tube. Yeah, I still get fed by a tube at night. So they have learned all the ins and outs, and they both got their gloves on. They're changing the dressings on my feeding tube. It's amazing. I haven't heard from so many of you. And I've watched Facebook, but I haven't commented. My good friend Bobby Heron gave you some updates. My wife gave you some updates. But I'm here to let you know I am going to live. I'm cancer-free currently. That doesn't mean I'll always be cancer-free. But currently, there is no visible cancer in the biopsies, the x-rays, the scans, every test they've given. They got it all. And you've never heard me whine. You've never heard me wimp. You've never seen me complain, because dog don't do that. But my wife was afraid. I was pretty well accepting of it. Whatever the outcome of this thing was, I was going to go with it. Because what is, what ain't. And no matter how much hysterical you get, it's not going to change it. So skip the hysteria and get on to reality. What is, what ain't. And if it was my time, it was going to be my time. I've lived the bucket list. I've done things nobody's done. And what's kind of interesting right now is I've got this big, giant scar, semicircular scar all the way around my right side, into my back, into my chest. Can you imagine when I go to the beach a year from now, and some kid says, "What the hell is that?" And I said, "Let me tell you, that shark was one mother. But I had a knife in my teeth, and that shark got me, but I got out of it." Yeah, I'll have some stories to tell about the shark bite. But it's amazing. It was such a celebration when they pulled that tube out of my nose. That was the most irritating thing of the whole thing, is having that stomach pump tube running 24/7. And remember, I was 13 days in advanced care, 2 days in intensive care. I mean, I had some of the most professional nurses you have ever seen. And one thing about the alpha dog, I'm all about setting records. I love to find out what's the record for this, what's the record for that, and I will go for it. And what is kind of interesting was that next to the last day I was on the ward, I walked 32 laps of the ward. Now, let me tell you, walking is very important when you've had this surgery. It's very painful. It's very draining. You're very weak. You've got this upright podium, and you're holding onto the podium and walking. And don't take walking for granted. I walked 32 laps of the ward. Now remember, the average person probably is ecstatic to walk 10. But I walked 22 laps. I steered back into my room. And I said, what the hell? I could do another 10. Turned around, went back out in the ward and did 32 complete laps. As far as anybody knows, that's the most anybody has ever done that had my particular type of surgery. So unofficially, that's the Emory record for 8th floor ward, but it's a surgical ward. But anyway, who knows? I mean, it was kind of interesting. 32 laps walking around the ward. Because that's just what alpha dogs do. You know, you got to lead by example. The surgeon couldn't believe it. Nobody remembered anybody doing more than that. If somebody can produce the numbers, have at it. Let's see who I've got here. Hey, my good friend Weldon Whitehurst, Gordon Campbell, one of my best friends, Carl Madonna, Richard Fuss, Bryce Godwin, Joe Giaffia, Tina Franks. Oh, hey, Tina. Patrick O'Brien. Well, like I say, the dog's back. And kind of interesting. Little things will motivate you and sear your memory. We have a neighbor named Sarah Oglesby. And Sarah lives about 4 doors down. Now, remember, we've only lived here 7 months. But anyway, Sarah gave me a little gift just before we left. And it was, you know, not the biggest thing in the world, but it was certainly from her heart. Well, this hung on the door to my hospital room. And I could see it every day. Every day, 24 hours a day, I could see this little banner hanging across from my bed. And I brought it home because it's going to be a lifelong memory, a lifelong memento. You never know what's going to mean something to somebody. And by the way, everybody share this video around. There's a lot of friends and followers and people that know me that would probably be interested in hearing this announcement. The dog is back. I'm cancer-free. I've got about a 3-month recovery where I'll be on the feeding tubes and the exercise program. And we got visiting nurses every other day for a couple hours, a little physical therapy and, you know, taking my vitals and checking me out. And a lot of drugs. I'm on drugs right now, if you can't tell. Yeah, my medicine cabinet probably has a street value of $100,000. But anyway, like Sarah Oglesby said, you got this. And every day I had to remember, I got this, because it was an ordeal. It was sad. It was really something that you had to work at getting through. But you know what? I got through it. I got to the other side. And you can do that no matter what the ordeal. I wrote a book one time called There's Nothing on Earth You Can't Sell Your Way Out Of. And it was aimed at salespeople, but there's no problem you can't sell your way out of. Because I remember there were many times when I was not leading on the board going into the last 5 or 6 days of the month. And I ramped up that attitude. I will not be beaten. I will prevail. There's nothing on earth you can't sell your way out of. Well, guess what? This cancer that I've just, surgery I just endured, you can get through it. Other people have got through it. I've seen little old ladies that got through it. Shit, but I can't get through it. But while it's happening, you could have a tendency to have a doubt. Can I do this? Well, what's the alternative? You're in it now. You've jumped out of the airplane. You better pull the damn ripcord. You know, so many people give up and wimp out. But no matter how you wimp out, it's still happening. That little banner hanging on my dresser right now, you got this. No matter what it is, no matter what troubles are happening in your life, you got this. Nobody but you has this. Nobody's going to do it for you. You know, you've got to do it yourself. You got to make it happen. Let me take that message off the screen a second. I think everybody's seen it that needs to see it. There we go. All right. Let's see who we've got on the side. Matt Crane. Alpha Dog, glad to hear from you. My family and I have been praying for you guys. I'll tell you what, the power of prayer. I don't care if you don't believe. I'd like you to believe. And my concept of who my God is and my Jesus is, that's what I got. And I believe it. And I don't care if you don't. You're not going to sway me. Excuse me a second. That's one of the byproducts of this thing. You cough a lot. But it's getting better every single day. As you can see, I've lost maybe 60 pounds. We stopped weighing for the time being. You know, I've lost a lot of weight. Let's see. Hamilton Courtney Ashley. Lee Williams. Steve Close. Lee Ziegler. Carrie Reese Wise. Carrie Wise. Oh, man. Good to see you guys. You know, I'm not trying to script this thing. David Hall, a great friend of mine. I'm looking at all the names on the side. Got a call yesterday from my good friend Lee Wetherington. Now, anybody that knows Lee Wetherington, he's a master builder in Central Florida, just south of Tampa. And he's built thousands of $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million houses. Lee has been incredibly successful since we were kids together in the 60s, the 50s. He and his brother, Bill Clark, two of my very best friends in this world. And I was real pleased to get a call from him. And he's been keeping up with this. I can't tell you all the names of the people that have stuck by me and been part of this thing. It's been an ordeal, and a lot of you have lived with it as I have. But the real pleasure of this thing is these two. My son, Zach, and my wife, Debbie. I'm like a baby right now. I can walk. I can talk a little bit. I can eat soft, crummy food like soft-boiled eggs and stuff. You know, my diet last night was mashed potatoes and gravy. So kind of interesting. Let's see who else is coming in. Derek Cassidy. Oh, man. Vlad Franco. Hello, Vlad. Scott Spadafora. Derek Massio. Hello, Derek. Chris Vitale. A lot of good friends checking in. This is just me having a conversation with you. I really don't know where this is going. I'm not trying to sell you anything. That's for damn sure. But in the future, I don't know that we'll be doing conferences anytime soon with the viruses going around. But you can look for the dog to be back. You can look for me to be writing in the magazines. You can be looking for me to be doing speeches. You can be looking for me to be producing videos. I am far from done in this industry. We have a lot to teach, a lot to do, and a lot of people to inspire and educate. Right now, I'm just loving life. I didn't realize how much of life we take for granted until there's that possibility. One of the blessings of this thing, my son Zach. Zach has taken charge like you wouldn't believe. He got with the physicians. He learned all the medical things that take. I have a lot of stuff still sticking out of me, and it's got to be attended to. It's got to be flushed. It's got to be hooked up to an IV system. I've got bags hanging over me at night when I sleep. A lot of things happening. So Zach has taken charge. Debbie's done a good job of changing the dressings, and she can operate all the equipment too. But Zach has really stepped up to the plate. Zach's living with us now, and I am so glad he's here. He's helped tremendously. Okay, Chris Bettis, Jason Ware. Jason was asking me if this was pre-recorded. A lot of people are saying, Ziegler, you look a lot better than somebody that just went through extensive life-threatening surgery. I mean, my God, they opened me up like you wouldn't believe. 2 surgeons, 9 hours on the table the first time. Then they found out I had a leak and they had to go back in and redo part of the surgery. So I had 2 surgeries, 13 days in the advanced care ward, which is not like a regular hotel, listen to me, regular hospital ward. It's the nurses are a little more trained to do specifics and a lot more attention to detail. But my God, laying in a bed for 13 days or 15 days, actually. Incredible. Well, listen, guys, everybody do me a favor and share this video around. Just hit the share button because I want people to realize that I'm out here. The dog isn't going anywhere. I'm going to be on Facebook every single day. I'm going to be on LinkedIn every single day. The dog is back, and I am so grateful to you. Because the people that supported me, I read your comments, thousands and thousands of comments that you have made on all my social media. I have read the comments you made to Debbie's posts updating what's happened to me and Bobby Heron's posts. My friend Jeff Glacken has made sure we kept all this up in some of the private groups. I could name a lot of people, like the Academy Awards. Who are you going to name? But thousands and thousands of you, and I didn't reply. I mean, I could have texted some things when I was unable to speak, but I didn't want to reply until I could at least be presentable. Here I am, fresh shaved, fresh showered, looking good. What could I say? I didn't look this good yesterday. It's been an ordeal, like I said. When you call the nurse and say, hey, I made a poo-poo, like big deal. I mean, celebrate, it's high five, Ziegler pooped, a lot of stuff happening. I love you guys, gals. I love all of you. And the address is on the website if you want to send me some Fanta orange soda. I mean, that's me. But anyway, God bless all of you. The dog is back. You can keep up with me on the website. The website's always there. I'll tell you what, when you go to the website, hang on a second. There it is. Apologize for the coughing and the sniffling. I've been one human drainage thing the last couple of days. But one thing you learn is I've had more people handling my body, humility and embarrassment are not something an adult can do when you've got this happening. You got to be a little stronger than this. So anyway, love Jonathan Dawson. Hey, Jonathan. Jonathan, premier sales trainer. Got a lot going on right now. And actually, I got a call from a good friend, Stephen Bell, who is operating partner of the Orr dealerships in Shreveport, Bossier City, the 2 Nissan stores. And he said, Ziegler, when you are back on the road, I want you to be the first person to come train. I want to be the first person that you come to their store and train. I truthfully don't know how much traveling I'll be doing, especially with this virus going around. I'm the prime target for the virus. So I'm being very careful. I'm 73 years old. I've just had a recent extensive surgery, which weakened my immune system tremendously. I'm every one of the demographics that has a problem with this virus. Excuse me. So I'm one of the prime demographics that's had a problem with this virus. So whether I'll be traveling anytime soon is debatable, or if Debbie had her way, I'd never be traveling. But anyway, we're doing what we can do, and my family's taking care of me. And like my friend Sarah Oglesby said, you got this. No matter what problems in life, if you got God, you got this. Just remember I said that. And speak well of me. Share this around. Be sure everybody gets a look at it. And I'd love to keep talking to you, but I've got nothing really new to say. Just one more story. My son Zach said to me yesterday, he said, I know why you did this. I said, well, why I did this? He said, you needed another story for another speech. Well, I've added to my bucket list cancer survivor for the time being anyway. There's always that possibility it'll come back. But at the end of the surgery, they said, you are cancer free. At the beginning of the surgery, there was still cancer. So the chemo, the radiation didn't kill it. So right now I'm cancer free. I've lost as much weight as I probably will lose. Excuse me, looking good. Hey, Mark, Joe Thistle, Patrick O'Brien, Barry Brodsky, Jose Andres Gonzalez, Brian Harris. Hey, Brian. The dog is back. Dan Dietrich. Hey, Dan and I go way back to the Coggin days when I was a Coggin. Mike Powers. A lot of good friends. Bobby Howard. Doug Boom Stahl. Doug Stahl, good friend of mine, used to be a professional wrestler. Yeah, a masked wrestler at that. Well, if you've ever seen Doug Stahl's face, you understand why he wore a mask. Oh, man. Boom, he said. Greg Powell. A lot of great people out there. Well, anyway, this is the Alpha Dog. I've been on for 30 minutes. I love you. I love you tremendously. I've got a lot more to educate, a lot more to inspire. I'm certainly not done. Cancer-free currently. I've got doctor appointments scheduled religiously at least once a month. Visiting nurses every other day. It's a whole life-changing experience. when you have to call somebody to get out of bed. When I woke up from that surgery, I couldn't roll. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. Amazing how an intensive surgery like this, I got these tubes sticking out my side, tubes coming out my nose, IVs in both arms, shots. That's a byproduct. That cough is diminishing every day. But I mean, I'm getting shots, IVs, drugs. Every 5 minutes, somebody's sticking something in me. So be grateful for every day you're alive and every day that you're here. And be grateful for the people around you. Because one thing, that woman right there changing the dressing on my feeding tube, my son Zach looking over, both of them wearing gloves. I mean, they have become medical professionals almost overnight. So I want to say that I'm grateful to you, all of you. It's the Alpha Dog signing off.